All right, so I want to give a monthly review, kind of what's going on in the real estate market very quick, just so people can kind of wrap their heads around what's happening. So essentially prices, they've been flat for like 3 years now. We had the peak in March of 2022 of prices. That was a bull market, and then basically the Bank of Canada raised rates and everything has kind of essentially been flat ever since then. They came down from the peak and they've kind of plateaued there. So for the past 3 years or so, we've really not seen much price growth at all. The past year, especially this year, I've found that we've kind of broken that cycle. And I think mainly because of like all the political stuff that was happening with the tariffs and whatnot and the uncertainty in the market. We basically found that this normal spring market really wasn't performing very well at all in terms of like sales volume, and normally you see a bit of a price increase there, but we definitely didn't see that this year. And I think it was kind of just like spread out slowly into the summer months. This year I found that it never really slowed down and the spring never really picked up. So it's actually just been like spread out over the entire summer. I think this year overall, it's probably not going to be a very exciting year in terms of like stats. I think, as we go into the fall, it's going to kind of be more of the same. Just a lot of buyers out there, inventory remains high. So they have just so many options. There's no urgency for these buyers. Obviously, of course, the good listings that are priced properly in this market get snatched up pretty quickly. So it's actually a very busy, very active market in terms of physical, like showing people the places, like still getting lots of showing requests, lots of people coming through the opens, so on and so forth. But actually generating the offers to sell the home is the hardest part. Bank of Canada held rates again, so there's been no change for quite a while now. Just to summarize, it's going to slow down a little bit near the end of August here, and then probably pick up late September in the fall market. But grand scheme, I think we're going to look back at this year and it's going to be a pretty lackluster year. Not much growth in price. Actually, prices are kind of coming off a little bit because of the pressure from inventory. There's so much inventory out there, so there's downward pressure on the prices. I am finding though that a lot of sellers, like at the beginning of this year, they had kind of unrealistic expectations, and now people are kind of coming around to reality and realizing that, hey, your place maybe it's not worth what you thought it was worth. And so I think a lot of sellers are kind of coming to that conclusion, which is helping. I think you'll start to see the homes for sale inventory taper off naturally as we get to the end of summer, and people will delist and maybe relist in the fall when the market might pick up again. So yeah, that's a very quick kind of synopsis of what's going on in the market. Obviously every home is unique, but I'm painting with broad strokes here. So if you have a question about your home specifically, feel free to reach out, and thanks so much for watching. See you next month.